Good morning, everyone. Thank you for your time today. My name is Joshua Varela. I am the head of partnerships and access at Lirvana Labs. What is Lirvana Labs? Who is a Lirvana Labs? So we are headquartered out of Menlo Park, Silicon Valley, California. I'm going to give you a bit of the who, the what, the why, and then we're going to get into a bit of practicum around what some of this technology looks like when being implemented. So let's take it from there. Co-design the future of learning. That is a big part of what we want to do. And how do we say this and how do we mean this as an organization? Let's see. So our mission and vision, we truly believe that we want to empower every learner. You're going to hear about how we do this empowerment through language models that actually help a lot of multilingual learners out there able to address within a personalized learning method. Beyond that, the way we co-design, I'm a big believer in bringing all stakeholders to the table. We're talking education, so we're talking multiple layers of a community at work. We're talking about students, we're talking about educators, administrators, we're talking about parents. We're talking about how are we moving the collective needle whenever we're working with our partners in a dynamic way. Beyond that, we also are COPA and FERPA certified. That's something that I always like to lead with all of our partners, especially in this age of data. We all know there are certain safeguards, but yes, we also know these safeguards are also constantly changing and evolving. And this requires listening in on state level, on local level, and beyond that, what districts are doing. And we're going to talk about a bit of what districts are doing on this journey. All right. So our value as an organization, we love to keep innovating. We want to do things with an ethical lens. Equity is a big component of this. As we all know, we are in the next age of the haves or the have-nots. And when I say that, I mean through AI technology, AI access. So we need to always ask ourselves when we are building these technologies, when we are integrating into our full stack, what are we doing to ensure that we can reach every student where they are, where they're going to be, and who they will become? So we need to ask ourselves these questions, and the only way we're going to do that is bringing people to the table. If we don't bring people to the table, these are all really nice, fancy buzzwords. But what does it look like in action and in practicum? So our ecosystem, and I'm going to linger here for a bit, is Yeti Confetti Kids, Yeti Copilot, Yeti Labs. So I'm going to talk through what is a Yeti Confetti Kids. Yeti Confetti Kids got its start in Syrian refugee camps in Lebanon about a year and a half ago. With that work and our language modeling, we were able to improve a half a grade level in English and in math for Syrian refugee students who had to take the entrance exam to get into Lebanon public school systems. That technology for Yeti Confetti Kids creates a personalized learning experience in 28 languages, and we're going to be expanding in the fall to 70 languages. We're going to talk about why that happened. It is dynamic in the sense that after 45 minutes of usage, it can steer the ship for the student to address where they are in terms of their learning. The educator or parent just needs to let us know what are they a rising grade level around. And through that, Yeti after about 15-minute sessions or 3 15-minute sessions, is delivering a personalized learning pathway with an ELA, math, and incorporating social emotional learning into the between time between assessments, between the librarian components that Yeti's looking at to build the student's personalized learning. But the educator is not removed from this journey, nor is their voices not a big part of this experience. That brings us really nicely into the co-pilot. This is where you can talk to Yeti. Yeti's a very happy, blue individual who is willing to talk to educators, administrators, to not only find out how to address the students' needs where they are today, such as, hey, Yeti, who's having a hard time with phonics in the classroom? Yeti, through an Ask Classroom feature, will be able to show and tier students out based upon how they've been experiencing things within Yeti Confetti. Oh no. And from there, Yeti can work with the educator to dynamically not only address what the student needs at the immediate level, but within our co-pilot also create a space where they can give focus areas to the class and to the student. Because at the end of the day, we all know the educator is with that student on a personalized level. That student is engaging with them throughout the day, throughout the week. So we need educator voice to ensure that we're steering the ship in the right way. In addition to this, though, starting in the fall, we are adding computer vision. It's called the Scan Report Card feature. This is to help enable district partners around embedding other reporting and assessment systems they have in place already. Some of those being like iReady reports for New York City Public, and we'll talk about that a bit as well. But beyond that, these are the backbone to building out an AI school. We also have a writing companion that we are going to be introducing in the fall to support upper elementary and middle school. But at this component, we have Yeti Confetti Kids, Yeti Copilot, and lastly, Yeti Labs. Yeti Labs, this is where a district has the ability to look at a dashboard, to see things in a way and communicate in the way where they can not only bring in their curricula needs, because every district has different curricula needs. Beyond the different needs of the curricula, we also can look at different areas of growth, areas of improvement that districts can work together with their schools to leverage Yeti and the data that Yeti is bringing in to have a more holistic overview of how to address these critical issues that districts are facing around learning within their environments. So this is all really nice to say this is the ecosystem. I'm going to talk about the practicum of what this looks like when we're actually going into and working with communities at large. When we start with any of our schools, we always ensure that they're leveraging Yeti Confetti Kids and the Copilot. These are a way that we are able to support K through 5 learners in a dynamic way that, like I said earlier, is personalized learning. Beyond that, we also bring in all stakeholders. We bring in assistant principals, teachers. Literally in the Bronx last week, I brought powers into the conversation. And that's important because there's insight that we do not have that you can use the Copilot to enable and also work together as a community to figure out how to best enable these technologies. So all of our partners, and this is the real substance, is the Yeti Mountain Peaks Project. So the Yeti Mountain Peak Project was our way of taking our ideas that we tested out around the world within refugee camps, within international schools in Southeast Asia and East Asia, and ask ourselves, how does this look in the United States? Just because something is gold overseas does not mean it will serve a purpose here. That is the harsh reality of ed tech, and that is the reality of when implementing these technologies. So, with that being said, a Mountain Peak school, there are over 20 Mountain Peak schools right now across the United States, within the Bay Area, East Dallas, and then of course, lastly, New York City DOE. These schools each benefit by not only receiving early access to technology, and we gain feedback from their administrators and educators along the way, but beyond that, we also have an educator committee where educators are pulled from each of these schools to give us feedback and commentary on best practices around implementing artificial intelligence models into the classroom. Each of these schools, just to give you some insight on them, and we'll go to the next slide and give that there. The amazing thing is we are looking at schools that are predominantly one school in particular, and we'll go right over to the next slide. So, and before I even move forward, how is this all being funded? We won the MIT Solve Global Learning Challenge. That money has been used to start the Mountain Peak Initiative. Yeah. And so we're really appreciative of what we've gotten from MIT Solve in creating this framework for AI schools throughout the US. Some of these school districts, I'm just going to speak on them a bit just so you understand the communities at large. Right now we have over 4,000 students who are being impacted. Beyond that, I just want to talk through some of these schools so you understand who they are, what they serve, and what they're about. Oh, my apologies. Okay. Well, we'll end on this. So, and one last slide on this, which is voices, 90% multilingual learners. Cityscape, 78% multilingual learners. In the Bronx, D10, 10 schools right now are up and running, and it is the highest multilingual learner need district in the DOE. And so I'm gonna end on this because I know time is of the essence and we took a little while to get set up. Community and impact is key. How Yeti operates, they get a little 6-digit code. That code can be used via a web-based model, an app-based model. We are sending those codes home with a student letter, a parent letter, in the native language of each student with those codes so they can go back and talk to their parents about, hey mom, hey dad, this is this AI thing Yeti's been helping me out at school. What is this? You have to create community buy-in. You have to create community engagement into AI. If you just throw something at someone and say good luck, it's gonna fizzle out. So the Mountains Peak project is an ongoing project that we are gonna keep working on to bring our technology into high need spaces. In those spaces, we are working with educators at a direct level. And from there, we are also raising awareness through community and community engagement to break and make these tools accessible to students, not only in the classroom, but also at home. Okay, thank you.